Hello, ladies. So I decided that I am going to do this call, and I'm on Zoom. So I didn't invite any of you to the call, but I wanted to use Zoom so then I could show you my screen and I could show you some of the materials that you'll need. So I had you, I'm going to share my screen really quick. I had you do some homework, and that homework was to go on to beachbodyondemand.com, and you were supposed to go into 80-day obsession, which is down here, and click on it. And then under program materials is where you will find the things that I had you print off. So the first thing that you were supposed to do is go into the starter guide. And if you scroll down, I'd like you to read the entire starter guide, but if you scroll down to calculate your calorie target, this is what you need to do to know what bracket you're going to be in for your meal plan. So you're going to take your current weight times 11, that information plus 600 to get your maintenance. So if you want to be in maintenance and you don't have any weight to lose, then whatever this number is here is the number that you'll look for the bracket. If you do want to lose some weight, then you continue on with subtracting 750 and you do your calorie target. And that's where you find out whatever this number is where you will determine what bracket you should be in. So it is up to you if you want to do maintenance or if you want to do weight loss. Now, I went in between. When I did 80-day obsession the first time, I did in between. I started in A, which was my weight loss, and then my maintenance was C. A made me crabby. I was drained. I was tired. It just wasn't good for me, so I bumped up to B. And that was Autumn, the trainer's suggestion, is to bump up just one bracket if you're starting to feel some of those symptoms, if you're feeling lethargic, if you're feeling headaches, all of that. Now, I will tell you, you likely will have a detox flu, per se, the first week or two. And that just means that it's your body detoxing from all of the crap you have been putting into it. And so it's not like the flu, but you could have some symptoms similar to the flu. So you could be feeling tired, you could feel worn down, you could be feeling kind of just yucky and your body hurts and you're just kind of worn down basically. You could feel, that crabby feeling. Trying to think of what other symptoms some of the people. I had weird dreams. I was starting to get weird dreams. Basically, it's just your body detoxing from all of those things. So be cognizant of that and just know that that's your body, but adjusting. But please feel free to post in our group if you notice any symptoms or anything like that you want help with, because there's about a good even number of people that have done the program and haven't done the program. So this is a good group so we can all help each other. And there's lots of knowledgeable people in our group, so please post in our group. So anyway, if you want to be in maintenance, that's where you'll determine. You won't have to do this final step. If you want to lose weight, then get your calorie target. And then you will come down here to determine what bracket you are in, okay? And then from there, you will go into our Facebook group. Sorry, I should have had this pulled up. And you'll go into the files section. And there's plan A through C. I thought there's more than that. Is it only through C? No, it is only through C. If any of you are higher than C, let me know and I will look and find some menu planner pages. These were just given to us, so these were just made by a challenger and given to us on our team. So anyway, then you will print the page for your bracket. So let's say I was in plan B, so I would print just this page. I don't need to print plan C, I don't need to print plan A, I would just print plan B. Then we'll get into the menu planning here in a second, but while we are on, when you are in that starter guide, up here on page 3, it looks like, this is something that I printed out and I kept with me, and with my tracker pages, I just kept track of my measurements. So on Sunday, you will need to take your measurements, and I just use one of those, you know, those ones that you measure like, you know, material at, you know, at a any craft store. Walmart has them, any of those places have them. So just go ahead and measure. It shows you where to measure on your body. Try to measure in the same place each time. So like the best way to do like your waist is measure around your belly button, so then it's easy to remember for next time. But you'll just keep this page in a safe spot so you can keep track of it each phase. Go back to rest, Eden. Okay. So there is that. You'll want to do that Sunday. You'll also want to take your before picture and make sure you do this. I know some people don't want to do this, but make sure you do this because you can turn it in at the end and get a free t-shirt. So make sure that you do that because it's important also so you can see your growth, because a lot of times the scale may or may not move. It may even go up and you will be frustrated, but then once you see how many inches came off, then you will realize, wow, you know, I am actually doing better than I thought. So here is the equipment. We talked about that today in my post, and so you'll need to know, you'll need to have that equipment. Hold on one second. There. Okay. Here's some more information about the supplements. You do not have to take Energize and Recover. So I know someone messaged me about that and was panicked. It's fine. So even though the meal plan shows, you know, right here, it shows a pre-workout supplement and a post-workout supplement, you do not have to take those, but you will have your fruit right after your workout block, because you need that carb. So you will have that fruit right after your workout. So make sure you do that, even if you don't have your supplement. Okay, so that's that. Then if you go into the nutrition, this is, if you are not vegan, then you will want to print this page off. This is just a foods list. You'll want to print off both pages because you'll look at this every time you meal plan. So that'll give you an idea of, you know, what are some of your free foods. When we start doing refeed days, 6 weeks into it, here's the list of those, so you'll want to know those. But then mostly you'll use this page, but I would print out both. And then you'll go down here. Do not print your eating plan for your specific eating plan. I'm going to go to B just because that is mine. It's 11 pages. It's really not necessary. What I did is I took a picture of this page on my phone and saved it to my favorites. I took a picture of this page so you can kind of get an idea of how you are going to plan, and I saved it to my favorites. I took a picture of my rest day meal plan so I would know when to eat which containers. And then also I took a picture of this page. This you will not need to worry about until 6 weeks in, so just completely ignore it. You can take a picture of it, but I would just ignore it for now. Okay, and also this one, this is for the last week of the program. So you will need to do that so you know how to meal plan. because in the meal plan pages, they don't show the containers. So it shows where you can put the containers, you know, in these squares, but it doesn't already place them there. So you need to make sure that you do have an idea of what you're going to eat. Now, I will tell you, let me stop share real quick so you can see me. I will tell you that when I first started, you can either eat your pre-workout meal, or you can eat your meal one option as for your right before you work out. So you can choose. Your pre-workout meal will be larger than your meal one option. And so when I started, I tried my pre-workout meal, but I was literally eating right before I worked out. So it was a lot of food, and I wasn't used to eating before I worked out. So I chose to swap those. So it is up to you, but you are allowed to switch those out. So if you choose to eat your pre-workout meal right before you work out, or within an hour before you work out, that's fine. Or you can choose meal option one, and I'll show you that for plan B. So plan B, instead of having a red, yellow, green, and a teaspoon, which is a lot more food, I chose to have a red, purple, and a teaspoon. And then I had this meal for lunch because I wanted to have a bigger lunch. So I moved this one down here, and I moved this one up here, okay? So that is an option for you. It is up to you if that's what you want to do, okay? So I will show you now. I keep a binder with all of my meal plans in it. I keep recipes in it, and I have done this since day one, since I first started Beachbody. So not even since I started 80 Day, but since I started Beachbody. So I mean, I have my meal plans from when I first started, which are hilarious because you just are not in the know, you know, so like you're just learning. So it's going to be the same with 80 Day. When you first start, you're going to make mistakes. You're going to be like, oh shoot, I forgot to eat a veggie when I was supposed to eat a veggie. Or, oh shoot, I was supposed to have a teaspoon right then and I didn't eat a teaspoon. Or, oh crap, I ate a blue when I was supposed to leave it until later on tonight. So it's okay. It's okay. As long as you're not eating a bunch of junk, then you're doing great. So just understand that. So I pull this out every time I go to meal plan. So I am going to get out my foods list because that's where I'm going to decide, especially like my yellows, my greens, my purples, those sorts of things. I'm going to get out my foods list. I have a notepad here so I can make a grocery list as I meal plan. So you need a notepad, you need your foods list, and then you need your meal plan printed out. And I didn't look before I started this video, which I should have. I know I have an extra one, and I used to be more organized. I do, right here. I used to be more organized than this, but since we moved, I've been kind of slacking a little bit. So, but like I said, all of these right here are all my old meal plans. So I can always go back to these anytime I don't have time to meal plan. So if there's a time where you're like, oh my gosh, it's Sunday and I forgot to meal plan, shoot, what do I do? Well, then you go back to one of your previous weeks and you just pull it out and just say, well, this is what we're eating this week. So it's very helpful. I encourage you to save all of your meal plans. It will make life a lot easier. So what I do first is I fill in what I have going on for that week. So I know that Like if I have gymnastics at 4:45 on a Monday, well, that's going to interfere with supper because we're not going to get home until 5:30. And so I need to make sure I am thinking of either a really quick and easy supper, or I made a crock pot meal in the morning. So then I'm not saying, oh, it's 5:30, we're on our way home, let's grab Wendy's or let's grab fast food. Okay, so you need to be thinking of those things. So I write my schedule on the top of my meal planner for each day. So let's say for Monday, I know that we have gymnastics every night at 4:45. So I say gymnastics, or gymnastics, not gymnastics. We have dance at 4:45. And on Tuesdays, we have gymnastics at 3:30 for Avery, and then at 5 for Hayden. So we don't get home till 6 o'clock at night. I have to have either something already ready or for sure a crock pot meal that day. So I just write that right here above at the top. And then if I have something during the day, then I need to be considering that. A lot of you work, so you also need to be thinking of those things because like your snacks, you need to have a snack that is quick, simple. You either prepped it on Sunday or it's something that you can just throw in your bag, like a banana or an apple. So this week, especially, we're going to make things super duper easy. And you don't have to use the same plan as I'm going to use. But I would highly suggest certain fruits, certain veggies, just to make it easy this first week. And so if you like these veggies or you like these fruits, then I would highly suggest you use them. So anyway, the first thing I do, I write down my schedule. So I know that we have soccer practice at 5:30 on Thursdays, and we leave at 4:45 to go to that. So I usually make a crock pot meal that day, and I put it in a bowl right before we leave, and I eat it on the way. And I forgot my calendar in there, so I can't remember what else we have, but I don't think we have a whole lot during the actual days. And if we do, I've gotten good enough at this that I can switch things around a little bit. So, but I would highly suggest you have your planner right there with you as you are planning this out. So you need your food list, your menu planner, your grocery notepad for your grocery list, and then also your planner or whatever you keep your daily activities in, so you know what you have going on that day. Now, the other thing that I fill in first right away is I know if you look back here, so you can even, like as you're planning out, you might be looking for recipes on Pinterest or on Fixate or whatever. So you might have your computer open anyway, or your phone. But if I look right here on my, let me open it. If I look right here, can you see that? Hopefully it's not showing that you can see that. Hold on, let me see if I shared it the right thing. Yeah, I did. Okay, so if you look right here, like I said, I know for a fact right after I work out, I'm going to have a purple, which is fruit, and my Recover. Well, if you don't drink Recover, you're still going to eat your fruit. Okay, so I'm going to write what fruit I'm going to have for that day. Now, this is the easy part because I already know, like, fruit's easy. So I already know what I'm going to put in this section right here, because this is the blue block right here is my workout block. So down here, I'm going to put a fruit each time. Okay, so I'm just going to say banana. And I am going to have the same thing every day because it's easy and because it's the first week. And I want it to become a routine and a habit. And so I know that if I do the same thing every day for the whole week, then I'll kind of get into the flow of it. And next week I can change it up. Maybe I'll do a banana and apple, banana, apple, banana, apple. But for this week, I need it to be easy. I need it to be like I can just do it without even kind of thinking about it, because there's going to be so much going on with learning the workouts and then following this meal plan, and it's just and then you're doing your normal life too. So you want to make it as easy as possible and something that will work for you. So I wrote banana next to, or on each line with a P in the box, if you can see that. So I did that for Monday through Saturday, because those are the days that I'm going to work out. Now Sunday I can leave for right now. Now I also know that I am going for my post. Let me share my screen again really quick. For this post workout meal right here, now this is a great Shakeology chance to drink your Shakeology. Now some people drink their Shakeology as their pre-workout, so you could do that too. Like meal option 1, if you move this right up here, a lot of people, like when they drink their Shakeology, they like to have a fruit and and some peanut butter in their shake. So that's a good option too. I don't do that because it's too much liquid and too thick, and I don't know. I like to have it after. So it's kind of up to you. I personally put it right here. And so I know that my post-workout meal, what I'm gonna drink, so I worked out, I drank my Recover and ate my fruit immediately after my workout, okay? And then about 30 minutes to an hour or so after that, after I ate that fruit and drank my Recover, if I drink Recover, then I'm going to drink my shake. So I do my post-workout meal. Well, that's the easy one that I can fill in right away because I know that that's a shake. So it's easy. I don't have to think what am I gonna pair with this, So I drink my shake. So I need a red, which is the shake. I need a green, which I put spinach in mine. My yellow, I eat, so I don't put it in my shake. And then my teaspoon is peanut butter. So I do that every day as my post-workout meal. Now, if you choose to have it as your pre-workout meal, then you can do that as well. And you can fill that in on your meal plan where it would go. Hopefully that's not too confusing to you. So let me write this down. Sorry, it's taking me a while, but I want to write somewhat legible so you guys can follow it also. But you could be doing this with me if you want to. Okay, so let me stop sharing my screen so you can see it. And so I wrote right here as my post-workout meal, I wrote that I'm having my shake as my red, spinach as my green. I have to fill in my yellow here, but then I have peanut butter that's gonna go in my shake, okay? So for my yellow, just for this week, I'm going to make it easy, and I'm just gonna roll up a tortilla and eat my tortilla. And now I can't do a white flour tortilla. I'm going to choose a whole wheat tortilla. So I know that's lower on my foods list. If I look at my yellows, I see tortilla. It's at the very bottom of my yellow foods list. And we want to try to stay in the top third of our foods list. So if you would prefer to have something up at the top, like maybe you want to just warm up some kidney beans, or maybe you want to have a sweet potato, or maybe you want to, maybe you are going to meal prep some wild rice or some quinoa, and then you just heat that up. That's up to you. To me, that takes too much time, and I know I won't do it. And so I still got results, even though I wasn't always up in the top third. So I'm going to just do it easy, and I'm just going to do a whole wheat tortilla. So I put WW tortilla, and I have that every day. So then I just get into a pattern of knowing that's what carb I'm going to choose. It makes it easy, and I'll add in some variation as we get going later on in the program. So I went ahead and added in my yellow as a whole wheat tortilla. I don't know if you can read that because I can't read it. It's blurry. So hopefully you can read that, but I'll take a picture of this once I'm finished. Okay, so I already have now my post-workout supplement and my post-workout meal. Now I'm going to go to my pre-workout meal, the meal that I'm going to have right before I work out. So it's your breakfast, basically, unless you work out at a different time of day. Like if you don't work out in the morning, then your pre-workout meal, like it might be in the evening. It could be your supper if you work out after supper. So yours will look a little bit different. Now, if you go into this eating plan page, they give you examples of what your day could look like. Here's another menu planner that you could also use, but it just doesn't have every day on it. So you'd have to print so many pages. So it's just hard. But here's examples. Like if you work out in the morning, here's an example of what your day might look like. But if you work out in the middle of the day, then you might eat meal option 1 and 2, in the morning, and then you have your pre-workout meal, and then you work out and your post-workout meal, and then your supper, your meal option 3 is your supper. Now, you can still swap your pre-workout meal with meal 1 if you want to do that. So it's not like you can't do that. You can do that anytime. And then here's an example of an evening workout block, like if you work out at night. Now, if let's say you don't work out at 6 to 7, maybe you work out 8 to 9. So you would just change those times a little bit. Those times don't have to be stuck in stone. They are just examples. Your goal is to kind of keep your workout block within that 2 to 3 hour time period. And then you're eating every 2 to 3 hours after that, or, before and after that. So like I work out in the morning, so I keep this time in between that 3 hour block approximately. And then every 3 hours, usually I eat again. So you'll get used to that. So like I would wake up at 5, I would eat until 6. I would work out at 6 or 6:30. And then I was eating my post-workout right after that, like at 7. And then I'd have my post-workout meal at 8:30. And then at 10:30, I'd have my snack, so like I would figure it out, and you'll have to play with it with your day. And if you need help, ask, because this is probably the most confusing part of the whole thing. So it does take some getting used to. So I am going to go back, and I'm going to do my pre-workout meal. Now, like I told you, I swap out my meal 1, and I do that here before I work out. So, and even though I have a little more blocks, I'll show you here. So I'm going to do, I'm just going to do hard-boiled eggs for my protein, because I know I get a red, a purple, and a teaspoon for my meal option 1, because I switched. I want my meal option 1 to go as my pre-workout, and then my pre-workout meal is actually going to switch and going to be my lunchtime. So I'm going to do hard-boiled eggs for my red. For my purple, I'm going to do, let's see, I will do grapes because they're easy and I can prep them quickly. So I'm going to do that every day. Sometimes I just, like, as I went on and got used to this, I would just put fruit right there. And I just always had apples on hand. I always had bananas on hand. I always have grapes on hand. Those are the three things that I always have on hand, no matter what. And that way I could pick and choose, because sometimes it was like, oh, it says grapes, but geez, I really don't feel like grapes right now. I'd rather have an apple. So sometimes people get so stuck on like what the meal plan says that they won't switch. But so sometimes I would just put fruit because it was easy, and I just knew that I was supposed to have a fruit right then, and I could go to my refrigerator and choose. Now I work from home, so I can do that. If you don't, then that makes it a little trickier. But like when you pack your lunch at night before you go to bed, which I highly suggest you do, then you could choose at that time too. But I'm going to be specific this week, just so I can make sure that I have all of those things on my grocery list, which I should have been doing as I've been doing this, because usually every time I write something down on my list, then I write it down on my grocery list as well. So I should have been doing that. So as you can see, I have a red, which is my hard-boiled egg. I have a purple, which is my grapes. And then I have a teaspoon here, which is just gonna, literally a spoon of peanut butter by itself, plain. So if that's not something you like, then on the foods list, you can look and you can see what are other options for your teaspoons, and you can choose from something from there that might go with something you're eating. Maybe you want to do like some other kind of nut butter. If you're doing your shake at this time, then you could do like those cocoa nibs, or I think that's how you say them. Is that how you say them, Stephanie? Anyway, you could do just different options. You'd have to really think about it, because a lot of them, your teaspoons are oils. So like I said, as I am writing things down, I should be making a list. So I need to make sure that, because I just wrote down eggs, I need to put that on my list. I need to put grapes on my list. I need to think I have enough peanut butter, so I'm good. I don't need to put that on my list. I need bananas on my list. I need spinach on my list, and I need whole wheat tortillas on my list, because those are things that are on my meal plan. So I need to make sure that I buy them at the grocery store, so I am set and ready to go. Now, so far I don't have a lot of prepping to do. I need to prep my hard-boiled eggs. Sometimes I also will make a list of things I need to prep. So I will say like hard-boiled eggs. I need to prep my grapes. So then they're already torn off of the stems. They're in a baggie. I can grab the baggie and I can head out the door. And then that's probably what you'll want to do too, especially if you work during the day. Okay. Otherwise, so far I don't have anything to prep so much besides those two things. So I also made a list of things I need to prep. Now, so I've already got my pre-workout, which is my breakfast. My pre-workout supplement is Energize. Now I'll just fill that in later because I know that right away. My post-workout supplement is Recover, and I'll fill that in later. And then I also have a fruit during that time, right after I work out. So I'm having bananas. And then my post-workout meal that I will have about an hour after I get done working out is going to be my shake mixed in with spinach and peanut butter, and then also a whole wheat tortilla. And now I'm ready for my lunch. So this was my morning snack. That's what I call my morning snack, is my post-workout meal, because I do work out in the morning. Now, just because this shows like kind of like it's working out in the morning, that doesn't mean that you are working out in the morning. It's just, this is just an option. You don't have to use this. I'm sure if you go on Pinterest, you can find meal plan templates for 80-day obsession very easily, okay? So I'm going to do meal one, and a lot of times I do write like the times that I will eat these things too on the side right here. So like I know that next week I'm waking up at 5:30. sorry, my pen quit working, 5:30 to eat. I am going to work out at around 6:30. And then I will be done with my workout around 7:30. So that's when I'm going to have my post-workout supplement. And then around 8:30 or 9, I'm going to drink my shake, which is my post-workout meal. So right here on the side, I wrote the times in. Now, I highly suggest you do schedule your workouts. You write them in your planner or you write them on here so you actually follow through with them. Now at meal 1, I'm going to have, or it says meal 1, but remember I swapped out my pre-workout meal for my meal 1. So that's why I have an empty spot here, because I was supposed to also have a yellow. I didn't want that yellow because it was too much food. So I'm moving that whole block down here and swapping it with meal 1. So I eat that as my lunch. And so I have that at about 11:30. Which is approximately 2.5 hours after, about 3 hours after my last post-workout meal. Okay, so next week, during the week, I've decided that I am going to have like a taco meal. So for lunch, so I'm going to eat turkey taco meat as my red. So I will meal prep that. So I need to write ground turkey on my grocery list, taco seasoning, or in Fix8 you can make your own. I am not that good, so I don't make my own, but you can make your own. It's the healthier way, so it's up to you. And then I need to write on my prep list that I am going to make turkey taco meat. I usually always prep a turkey taco meat anyway, just because it's easy to throw together for last minute meals if I have to. So with my turkey taco meat, that's my red. I also need a green and a yellow. So my red, green, yellow, and a teaspoon, because that's what I get for my pre-workout meal that I swapped out. So for my green, I'm going to do rice cauliflower. And I'm going to write that on my grocery list, and I know that I'm going to need a couple bags. So 2 to 3 bags. I'm going to probably get 3 just to be safe. I always have that on hand, and I will show you a list of things that I have on hand no matter what, just to make sure that if I am in a last minute dire situation, I know that I have these things and I can grab them, prep them, or whatever right away. And so I have something from every container on hand at all times, just to be certain that I have something so I'm not like, crap, what am I going to do? And then I fold and end up eating something gross. So then for my yellows, so my green is going to be my rice cauliflower and a little pico. So I'm also going to have pico with that. And then my yellow I'm going to have as some black beans and corn. So I'm going to write black beans and corn. So I don't need to prep the rice cauliflower unless you guys work during the day, then you probably would want to do that. I do grab my black beans and corn. I just rinse off my black beans and mix them with the corn so they're all pre-mixed. So all I have to do is dump them in together. So, and then for my teaspoon, I'm not going to be using any oils or butters for this meal, so I will just have a spoon of peanut butter. Okay. So as you can see, I wrote that here. I had to put my yellow up here high because, like I said, remember I swapped this out. So this is if you don't, this menu planner was written as if you don't swap the 2 meals out. Well, I do. So I had to just kind of fudge it a little bit. So I have my black beans and corn up here as my yellow. I have my turkey taco meat as my red. I have my pico and my rice cauliflower as my green, and then I'm just gonna do a spoon of peanut butter. I'm gonna do that all week. So I would fill in this whole thing for all week. And I'm not gonna do that right now because I don't wanna waste your time and this is getting long and you don't need to see me writing. So if I show you my back, if I were to go back here and show you, oops, I'm on the wrong page. If I were to go back here and show you, this is how I know, okay, so now for meal option 2, I get a green, a purple, and a blue. So I'm going to write that on my page, green, purple, blue. And then for my meal option 3 that I have for supper, I get green, red, yellow, orange, and a teaspoon. So I write that on my page right here, so then I know what I'm supposed to fill in for these spots, okay? So my meal 2, excuse me, I have around 2:30 in the afternoon, and so that's kind of like a snack. So if it's a green, a purple, and a blue, a lot of times, like if I have something going on that afternoon, like let's say on Tuesdays on gymnastics day, I have gymnastics at 3:30. So it kind of is right around the time that I'm having my snack. So on that day, I might have something a little bit different that I could just grab, put in my purse, and head to the gymnastics class and then eat it while I'm watching their gymnastics. I might not have that on any of the other days because I'm home. If you work throughout the day or every day, then you might have the exact same thing every day. But you need to be thinking of things that are easy then. So let's say for mine, I'm going to do carrots for my veggie, for my green container. And then I'm going to do, for my purple container, I'm going to do an apple. And then for my blue container, I'm going to do hummus because I love apple dipped in hummus. And then the extra hummus that I have, I can dip my carrots into. So carrots are also something I always have on hand. They're easy. You can just grab them out really fast. And there's no prep to them. Now, if you want to prep individual baggies of like I think it says on your foods list, I'm pretty sure it says for carrots, like those small carrots, it says sliced or 10 medium baby carrots. So if you want to put 10 carrots in a snack baggie for each day, you could do that. Or like I just grab out 10 carrots. Sometimes I prep them, but usually not because it just takes too much time. And that's something that I could grab really fast. But with you working during the day, then you might want to do that. So you might want to put that on your list. I am going to put carrots on my grocery list. I'm going to put apples, and I'm going to put hummus on my grocery list. And then over for my prep, let's say you do want to prep your carrots because you work during the day. And let's say you need to prep how much hummus you have. You need to put that on your prep. Now, maybe you just prep it the night before. So you might just put a star next to those two because they're easy to prep the night before when you're cooking dinner or when you're just grabbing all your stuff for your lunch for the next day. That's up to you. But you can put that on your list however works for you. So I have added that as my snack option right here that I'll have around 2:30. And then down here now I need to fill in for supper. Now I always do supper last because supper is always the hardest thing. Because not only now am I feeding myself, but I'm also feeding my family. So that's not always fun to try to, especially with this program, because you're trying to fit your containers, but then you're also trying to appease the other people in your family and make sure that they like the meals. So I am a strong proponent of trying to make the meals work for everybody. So let's say chili. Chili works really well for the Plan B meal 3. So I'm going to say that I'm having chili one night. So what I'll do is for my red, so I write chili up at the top, and I'll show you this here in a second. I write chili up at the top, and then for my red, I put turkey meat, because I try to eat more turkey meat than I do like ground beef and that. So I'll put turkey meat, and then for my yellow, then I'm gonna have beans, the beans of the chili. And then, excuse me, and then for my orange, there's no seeds in there, there's no dressings in there, so I'm just gonna have some olives on the side. And then for my green, I'm going to have the tomatoes and the chili and the sauce and stuff. So, and if there's not enough like green, if you don't feel like, I don't measure them out exactly when I do like a thing of chili. Like I don't sit there and say, okay, well I have, a pound of turkey, and then I have, then I need to make sure I have this many beans and this many, for one. It's just so confusing for me and way too much math. And so I just give myself about a cup and a half, because if you look at most of if you try to find 21-day fix meals or 80-day meals, then it'll have the container counts on there for you, so you don't even have to worry about it. That's the best way to go. But if you don't feel like you're having enough greens, then you can add in some greens, or you could just have some greens on the side. That's what I do. But I try to be as exact as possible, but there's some leeway you've got to mess with. So so then my teaspoon, I don't have any oils or anything like that in my chili or butter or any of that. So I'm just going to do a teaspoon of peanut butter, separate, obviously. Now, my family could either have chili, or I could be nice, and my family loves chili dogs. So I eat the chili, and then I also make some hot dogs, and my family eats chili dogs, and I eat the chili. No big deal, because making some hot dogs on the side is not a big deal. So that's the type of stuff that I try to do. I try to make it as easy as possible to where we can eat similar things, or like I can just take out my part and then add in the other stuff for them, just because it's easier. It's just not worth it to try to make 2 separate meals. And so I just find meals that work to where I can make it to where everybody will like that. So I add that down here. So I wrote that it's chili up here, because then I specify exactly what everything is. So my green are my tomatoes, my red is my turkey, I can't even read that from there. My beans are my yellow, my olives are my orange container, and I'm just gonna do a spoon of peanut butter. Okay, so then I need to find out what I'm gonna have on Tuesday. Now, remember so dance on Mondays, I have dance at 4:45. Now I chose to make chili that night because I can throw that in the crock pot in the morning, because we're not getting home until 5:30. Now on Tuesday, it's the same thing. I'm not getting home until 6 o'clock at night. So I either need to make a crock pot meal, or I need to make something that I prepped. So I don't like to prep. So I like to prep as little as possible. And so I'm gonna make a crock pot meal, okay? Now, what you can do is, if I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to show you that if you go into Pinterest and you type in like my meal for my meal 3, which is my supper, I have a red, green, yellow meal. So I type in red, green, yellow meals, and I am going to have all kinds of choices pop up for what I can have for my red, green, and yellow meals. Okay, now I know I have a I know I have a chicken fajita recipe that I could do with a crock pot, so I could do that. And maybe instead of a tortilla that I put it in, since I'm already having a tortilla earlier in the day, maybe I do it with some rice, or I do it with a baked potato or a sweet potato or something like that. Because I can look at my food list and look at my yellow container and choose something else on as my options. Or maybe I eat some refried beans. That's another staple that I always have in my house. So I would probably do, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I'm going to write in chicken fajitas. So I know that I get a green, red, yellow, and orange for this meal. So I'm going to write chicken fajitas. And for my green, I'm going to have the peppers and onions. For the red, I'm going to have the chicken. For my yellow, I am going to choose refried beans. Now my family will have it with tortillas. Now my kids will not like chicken fajitas. So what I'll make for my kids is the refried beans, and then I make some Spanish rice. I throw that in a tortilla for them, and then they have a rice and bean tortilla for them to eat. My husband has chicken fajitas with tortillas, and then I have chicken fajitas without tortillas but with refried beans. See, so we're all eating the same things. It's just all I had to do to prep what anything extra was I had to make my kids some Spanish rice, which I just buy those like 90-second packet ones because I'm simple like that, and because we're not getting home till 6 o'clock, so I'm just throwing those in the microwave for 90 seconds. They're fine with it because it's just rice and they don't care. And then tortillas, I just warm up in the microwave for 30 seconds. And then I had my chicken fajitas cooking, all day in the crock pot. And then refried beans, I just eat out of the can. I mean, I don't eat them out of the can. I just take them out of the can and mix in a little bit of unsweetened almond milk, or I don't even do that. I just warm them up in the microwave for, a few minutes, and it's done. Like, it's not that hard to like try to accommodate everybody in your family by just changing one little thing. So that's what I do. So for my orange, I'm going to have olives because I don't want any seeds. You could do like pumpkin seeds or sunflower seeds or whatever, but olives are usually what I turn to. So if you don't like olives, then I'd choose something else. And then I probably will use a little bit of oil in I can't remember if the crock pot recipe calls for oil. I would typically look and see, but I'm just going to write oil for my teaspoon. Now I need to add that stuff to my grocery list, so I'm going to put chicken. And then I need peppers, onion, and I know I have refried beans because I always keep them on stock. I always have 5 cans of refried beans in stock on my shelves in my pantry. So if you don't have that, then you need to add that to your grocery list. If you do, then you can, then you don't have to add it. But like I said, you just go to Pinterest and seriously just look up. Literally it's that easy. Type in the container colors that you are trying to find a meal for, and there it is. Okay. So I know some people were having these carrot cake muffins. I think there was mixed reviews about those, that people were eating those after, I think as their post-workout, I believe, I'm not sure, but like here's some turkey meatballs, some broccoli, and some sweet potato. Super easy. These sheet pan meals are great for Plan B. If you have Plan B for meal 3, they're perfect. I have something similar to this. It's an Instant Pot recipe that I am trying out this week. These stuffed peppers are fantastic for meal 3 for your last supper meal. I have like a turkey taco meat one that I use brown rice and turkey taco meat and black beans and corn. So there you got your red, green, and yellow. And then you could do olives for your orange and you're good to go. Like it's just, you can do a chicken breast with a wild rice or a sweet potato and a veggie. I mean, you could make it super easy. I know some people who have done like breakfast burritos and they've done, you know, like a wheat tortilla with some like egg for your red container and then some peppers and stuff for your green container, and then you're set. I mean, super easy, guys. Like it's not as hard as what we put it out to be. You can also go into Beachbody On Demand. You can go to the Fixate. Where is it? Sorry, I never do this on the computer. You can go to Fixate right here. You can click on it. Here's the videos for all of them. You can go to Program Materials and go to Recipes, and you can click on that, and it'll pull up hundreds, guys, of recipes. So here, you could look through all of here, and it says entree recipes, and you can go to those. So they start on page 40. I could go to page 40, and at the bottom of each page, I'm almost to 40 there. So at the bottom of each page, it'll say whether it fits into 80. This recipe works well with 80-day obsession. Make sure it works with your container counts. So you got to kind of watch. So like this one's a red, green, and blue, and a teaspoon. Well, I can't do that because my blue I had for my afternoon snack. So I wouldn't be able to do this recipe. But somebody else from a different bracket could. I'm not sure what bracket that would be, but now this one doesn't say it. It doesn't say that it works well for 80 days. So it obviously has something in it that is not a great option for 80 days. So you would want to skip that one. This recipe works well for 80-day obsession. Now again, it has the blue in there for me, so it wouldn't work, but it could work for one of you. Now this one doesn't say 80-day, but it would be my container, so I would have to just kind of look at it. I do like to choose the ones that say that they work well for the 80-day container or program, and just to make sure that I'm eating the right ones and not screwing anything up. But so anyway, those are some options. Now, I wrote down some tips. Let me make sure that I didn't. Yeah, look at your schedule for the week. Make sure that you are considering those things. So if you have things going on at night, make sure you're considering those things. Make sure you fill in the easiest spots first. So like we filled in the post-workout supplement, fruit first because that's easy. You can throw in a fruit very easily. Make sure you're looking at your foods list. So you're choosing foods that are on 80-day obsession approved foods list. So you're not, that way you're not accidentally eating something that is not approved for this program. But seriously, guys, there's so much on here that I don't know that I ever ran into something that was not approved, unless you're thinking like, well, white flour tortilla or, you know, those types of things, which they're not approved because they're not a healthy option. And so just be looking at this as you are filling these in. Also keep it simple at first. Try to make sure that if you can and you don't mind eating the same things every day, then I would, just to start out, just so you can just not even have to be thinking of, like, you'll just know, oh yeah, I eat a banana now, or oh, you know, because that's what I've done all week, or oh yeah, I eat my hummus, carrots, and apple now because that's what I've done all week. So make it simple first. Also try to choose things that you don't have to prep a lot, just so you're not overwhelmed with everything. You've got so much going on with having to meal prep a different way, with having to make sure you're following the times because it is time nutrition, so you're wanting to try to stay within those times. And so there is a lot. And so I want you to go through this. I want you to watch this video. I want you to go through it. And I want you to ask as many questions as you have. And then that way I can answer those. And I will answer them. So either post on this video or post into our group, and I will answer those, or somebody else in the group will, and say what they, because we all have different, you know, preferences and all that. So, and they have better tips than I do maybe. So this is just from my experience from this last time I did the program, and this is what I did. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I want you to ask. I want you to be successful with this, and I want to help you as much as possible. So don't feel like you're nagging me or bothering me. I want you to ask. Okay? I hope that video helped. I hope this helps you not feel so overwhelmed. And if you're still feeling overwhelmed, then let me know. I'll talk to you soon.